Hey y'all, good morning, it's me, Niecy Lynn. I hope you're having a great Friday so far. If not, it's gonna pick up and get better. This week is, what are we, Flosstube 26. I can't hardly believe that. I've got my thing over here to the side, so I'm gonna keep glancing sideways with my notes. It is June 5th, 2020, and it has been so nice and warm here. We've been in the pool every day, but I'm super excited because I'm finna go get a haircut. I cannot even wait. I'm getting this craziness going on everywhere. I could even maybe live with some of this, except this piece goes nuts. But all this right here and this is just long and shaggy, and I'm having to tuck it around. So I'm so excited about getting my hair cut. I can't even wait. But it has been a rough week this week. Check on your friends who struggle. Violence is a trigger for a lot of people who struggle with some mental health issues. And so I've got to do that this afternoon myself, check on some friends that I know this is gonna be an extra hard week for. It's a hard week for everybody, but for a lot of people, violence is a trigger and it just is really hard for them. So if you do have any friends that you think might be struggling, just reach out. I'm gonna send up a special little prayer for Amy of Amy Love Toad. She's checked out for a couple of days because she is upset and it is extra hard on her right now. So send some good thoughts, vibes, prayers over her way, and anybody else right now who is struggling more than even the rest of us are. The Floyd family, it's just a hot mess. It's a hot mess. And we got to do better. That's all I know to say. But I have to say we're going to do better. So I'm going to jump right into our questions and stitches, and y'all always get me right with comments and help each other out. Last week we talked about starting on, and I'm going to try to see who it was, and I don't see it, starting on stitching off of Ada for the first time. And I said I went to 28 count. And I can't see whose name it was, but Jane sent that 25 count Laguna is a good first start. And I always forget it even exists. So if you're wanting to try something different than Ada, just to see what it's like, there's nothing wrong with Ada. I still stitch on Ada. The 25 count Laguna would make it, just that much bigger that you didn't have to scooch over to. So it'd come out to be about 12 and a half when you were done instead of 14. But that is a great place to start. Anne had asked about the Ocean ABCs kit that was one of the shares last week, and it is by Design Works in Bohemia, New York. And if you'll figure out how to, I tried to find you on Instagram and I couldn't figure out who you were on there. So if you'll get with me, I took a picture of the front of it and everything so you can have, it has an address and all that and all the particulars. So if you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, I'm Niecy Lynn, one word on Instagram. On Facebook, I'm a whole lot of my name, Denise Ledbetter Williams. I didn't put the middle name in because they didn't have enough space, I don't think. But reach out to me because I can't figure out how on here to send y'all a picture. So Pat, when we were talking about how to save your place, when you're stitching, I said if I have a tricky pattern, I usually make a working copy anyway, but then you can highlight through, which I've done before. Pat says she uses highlighter tape and you can put it over it. I didn't even know such thing existed. So that is fabulous genius. So get your work, and she says it doesn't damage what you put it on. So that's a great thing. So look for some highlighter tape at the office supply and try it to help you stay where you're supposed to be on your pattern. Patty says, which I thought this was hilarious because I said, I have the frog of thought. I don't have a train of thought. There is no straight track. It ain't going one place. It's a frog, and it's here and here and here and here and here and here and here. Patty says they call it wiki brain at her house, and I'm like, that is just exactly right. Just like getting on Wikipedia. Boy, you go from one thing, you can get down a rabbit hole just like that. Wiki brain. So that maybe does sound a little better than a frog of thought, but it definitely works like that. Also on saving your place with stitches, Christine and Made by Michelle McGraw said, and I had one of these a long time ago and I forgot about them. They make a magnet board and it has little magnet strips. So as you go across, then you just move that little strip down every row. So maybe one of those too would be helpful. So I forgot all about those. Y'all always get me straight again. Kathy had asked about my sewing room and my fancy floss storage. What I call my sewing room, I have in there with James Williams right now. We share the office. And so I have a big old drafting table on one side, and his desk and all his computer mess is on the other side. And then my bookcase is on the end, and then on this side I have some little bins and stuff's on a shelf. So I'm trying to figure out, we have solar screens on all the windows, and so it makes it dark when you're, like when I'm filming or taking a picture, it makes it dark. So I'm trying to figure out what time of day it's the most light, and then how to set up some light in there, and I'll take y'all in there and we'll look around, because I love my big old drafting table. It used to belong to Mr. Alvin, our neighbor, and so he was my baby boys. He was baby Keely Wildman's best friend, and they would they would be working outside, and they would be at the back of the truck and cleaning traps and things. And Alvin was huge, grown. He's my daddy's age. They went to school together. And he had white hair. And then there was tiny little Keely Wildman over there, same white hair. They're cut from the same cloth. They would sit over there for hours and just work and work and work, not say a word to each other, both just happy as two pigs in mud. I'd call Melanie and I'd say, hey, Keely's sees Mr. Alvin. He's asking if he can come over. And she'd check and say, oh yeah. And there, boy, he'd just go right across that we had a little side alley, a little cross street that nobody ever went down hardly, except us to pull in the garage. And he would go over there and work. So that drafting table was Mr. Alvin. So not only is one of my daddy's very best friends, but he was Keely's very best friend when he was little. So I love having it in there. I don't tilt it or anything, but I put out all my cutting things on top, and it's just super handy, and I love it, love it, love it. Carolyn had talked about gridding fabric, and she said, which I didn't even realize this was a thing, that you could get a vanishing ink pen. So you get your ink pen and then you do 10 by 10 on there, and then it'll, I guess it vanishes over time, or you rinse it, I'm not sure. But she said there is a vanishing ink pen that a lot of people grid with to help you keep your place. So another great idea. Deborah asked about my daughter stitching. She does not. She was always my soccer player, my baseball player, she was that in school. Always growing up, she did athletic training and things like this. And so she was never my sit down and do that kind of thing. She does crochet some now. She learned how to crochet in college. And she has said that she's ready to learn to cross stitch and do other kind of stitching, but the girls kind of keep her busy right now. And they own a business, Cassis Digital, and then she has a marketing job she does like part-time, and then Justin has another full-time job, and they both have Cassis Digital, and then she has Cassis Clothing, which is like this t-shirt. A bunch of y'all had asked about some of my t-shirts and that fun little patch shirt I had. They come from her. She has a clothing store, and it's called Cassis Clothing. So she's like, and has the two little girls, and the regular life, chickens, and the whole life. So she's like crazy busy, but she does not stitch now, but she does want to learn how to stitch. So she is hopefully fixing to jump off into the rabbit hole. Carla, I was talking about mustaches last week and how I love mustaches. And she said whenever anybody would ask her about her husband, they would say, doesn't it scratch you, don't you? She said, no, it doesn't scratch, it tickles my fancy. And I love that, because I've told y'all time and again, I am a mustache girl. My daddy's always had a mustache. My husband's always had a mustache. Sam Elliott, Tom Selleck, I love me some mustaches. Crazy about a mustache. So I love that. They don't scratch, they tickle my fancy. That's perfect. Sherry asked about my triangle pillow. I'm gonna stretch over here. It got found. I never would have found it, except that R.A. Kyle went to get it. She had, in the bedroom, I have an old church pew against the wall. I bought it when I was still in high school, and they cut it down because it was like, 10 feet long or whatever. So they cut it down, and she gets under there and sets up her little villages and things with her toys and dragons and all this. And she said her dragon needed this in his house for when he needed the rest. Well, of course, I'd looked under there, I'd looked under the bed, I'd looked in the closet, I'd looked everywhere. She had taken it, and since it's a triangle shape, she had pushed it, and I guess the back of the pew kind of goes like this. It's got that slant on it. She had pushed it up between the back of that pew and the wall. And it was just wedged, just sitting there. I would have never found that thing if she did, until I moved the pew for some reason. And if she had not gone in there and got it out. So the triangle pillow did show up, but not because anything I did. I never would have found that thing in a million years, 10 million years. So that was another yay this week. But I did have some super fun because I didn't take them off even though they look a little chippy. I don't know if y'all remember Wendy MacArthur, my friend Wendy, sent me these nails a while back. And we, talk back and forth all the time. And if you go to Facebook, she has so many ornaments and beautiful ornaments that she's finished on her tree and different things she's finished. She's a beautiful stitcher and finisher. And she messaged me and asked if she could send me a present, which I always think is so nice, and y'all are so sweet to me. And she sent a picture. She has started making project bags. And until y'all sent them, I only had one project bag. I just used zippy bags from I got them off Amazon. They're for document bags, right? So she sent me pictures, and these things are stunning. Look at this thing. I was so shocked. It is beautiful. It's quilted on here. And I think I'm gonna say this, I think this is French General fabric, and some of y'all that quilt and know so much more than me will know, but it is beautiful. The red is a beautiful match for it. The picture was so beautiful. And she said she was wanting to start making them and selling them. And the picture was so beautiful that I told her that she could only send it to me if she let me be her first customer and buy one for myself. I'm shocked. It is so, y'all know I love me some red. I love colors and bright colors. And these are, the red is bright enough for me, but it's muted that if you didn't like bright colors, the red is muted tones. I'm trying to get it where the light's on it good. I don't know if that's working or not. But she's quilted this. Look at these beautiful stitching on this quilt. And I said something to her about quilting, and she said, well, I've never made a full quilt. I just make, things like, I don't want to make a big giant quilt. I just make smaller quilted things. And y'all, it is beautiful and perfect. And I am so shocked. And she is on, you can get her on Facebook, Project Bags by Atlanta Stitcher. She's Wendy MacArthur. And I opened these up and I was just shocked. They were even so much prettier than the picture that she sent me. I was just shocked at how nice they are. They are beautiful. And like I said, y'all know I didn't have any till y'all sent me some for my birthday, and then these. And so now I'm feeling real fancy with these beautiful bags. And I just want to carry it. I don't even know that I want to put my stitching in it right now. I just want to carry it around and show it off because it's so beautiful. But y'all look her up, Project Bags by Atlanta Stitcher, and Atlanta Stitcher, one word. And I think I figured out how to type some things in the description. I will try to put it in there. So that was my one part of my haul this week that I was so excited about. So Wendy, you killed it on those project bags. They are so beautiful, and I'm loving, loving, loving them. I can't imagine. And then I finally remembered to order from BeStitchMe. I have been meaning to order this fabric for months after I saw Becca with some on Sambry Stitches, which also I'm trying to get that video over here where, and some of y'all who don't know how to find Becca can watch where she interviewed me. She was so sweet, and she does a great floss tube, but I'm trying to get over here, but my internet is not being, it's a big download or big thing, and my internet's not being happy with me, so I'll get it on there. But anyway, I thought I would open these up here. I'd been meaning to order, and then I saw she had coffee and camo. And I thought, you know what, I do it right now before you, so I just stopped what I was doing and went and ordered it. And so they look beautiful in the pictures, and Becca and them rave about it. So here we are, y'all. We're gonna cut it off, and let's see what we got in here. Oh my goodness. This one says it's Coffee Club. That's what it was, not coffee, Coffee Club. Y'all, my goodness. Look at this. It's 18 by 27 piece. And it is 28 count linen, because y'all know I like 28. And look at that. Is that gonna show up good on here? Let's see. I'll put this behind it. Y'all, look at that. That is beautiful. You know what I'm thinking? I might do my Away We Ride, because that's gonna be one of my starts. My next starts is Away We Ride for Blackbird. And that piece is so, did I ever get a piece of fabric and it's so pretty you think, I don't even think I want to stitch on it. I just want to hang it up somewhere. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about this. And here is another side. So it's got some muted like rust reds in it and browns, and maybe you can see little hints of a Lodeny green, but just a very little hint. And y'all know I'm a color whore. I love me some colors, and I will sit here and pick them out all day long from working at the lab. So this is Coffee Club by BeStitchMe. It feels real nice. It's sturdy. It's not too wonky, but it's not super stiff. I know I've had that, and it's not hairy. Y'all know I had that problem with that hairy linen. And I need to do the mother stockings on that hairy linen, but I don't like that hairy linen. And this is not hairy. It just has a super nice feel to it, and it is so pretty. Oh, y'all, I'm in love with this. Woohoo! And then we got one more piece coming. This one I think is called, well, I'll probably say on here if I open my big eyes, Toast. I thought that's what I got. And this came super fast, so, oh, look at that. I'm showing it to myself and not y'all. I'm not very good. And I'm sorry for the people who the crinkly paper makes you nuts, but I didn't, I wanted to open this with y'all. Since I don't get to see y'all, I'm opening it up with you and pretend like we're shopping together. I'll pretend like we're at the Stitch-Knitcher with Shelly just stitching, and we're in here feeling on this fabric and looking at it. Look at that. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is beautiful. And it's, the edges are very nicely serged, y'all, can y'all see that? Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Let me see if I can, you know what, I bet I can do it this way better. Why didn't I think of this with Coffee Club? Look at that. It's an 18 by 27 piece of 28 count linen, and it is gorgeous. And I believe that Becca told me that they were, they had BeStitchMe on the fabric viewer now. So if you do a lot of mirrors or different things like that that are really super detailed, and you really want to pick out your fabric, like, and you know, you can we talked about that last time, fabricviewer.com, you can overlay the pattern on the fabric and see what it'll kind of look like. And I remember right, Becca told me that they had BeStitchMe on there now, and it is, wow. It doesn't smell, because I have got some fabric before it smells weird. This doesn't. It doesn't have a weird smell. Sometimes it has kind of like a chemically weird smell, like dry cleaning fluid or something. I don't like that smell, but this doesn't. It feels really good. It is just, wow, y'all. This is beautiful fabric. This is beautiful fabric. And it's got some give, but it's not too wiggly. You know, sometimes you'll get a fabric and it's so loose that you really, it's hard to stitch on, especially if you don't like a tight hoop or anything. If a hoop is a problem for you like me, that gets rough. But I think this is gonna be perfect. You could just sit around and pet this all day. This is beautiful. So that's BeStitchMe. I finally got my fabric ordered, hallelujah, and got it. So that's our open up with y'all. And thank y'all for doing that with me. That was fun. I've never done that before, but I don't have nobody to shop with, and I guess can't nobody shop right now much anyway. So there you go. There we were at the store together having a good time. So Project Bags by atlantastitcher was my haul today, and Fabric by BeStitchMe was my haul today. And I am super ecstatic about both of them. They're beautiful. So, and look, Wendy even wrapped, somebody needs to tell me where to find this wrapping paper. She had it wrapped in this, and look, it's gingham on one side and ticking on the other side. that is the Hughes paper. So I need some of that paper too. So Wendy, if you know where you got that, holla. So then we're gonna jump right into whips. I did not press out my May Health and Peace because I don't think, and I keep it in my Karen bag. That's what I call this one. This was my present from Karen. And I got some new pens to pin, because this is big and I pin it up when I have it and I'm working on it. So I don't think I got any more stitches in than last week. So I'm just gonna flash it real quick. I started not to put it, but then I didn't want to lie on it. But I don't think, I might have got a few more in this weekend, but I don't think that I really did. So I didn't iron it out and everything, because I don't want to look like I'm just getting oodles of things done when I'm not. But this is May Health and Peace by Miladys Needle. I haven't heard back from Gloria if she knows anybody that has these. If you're a shop owner and you have these, holler. I have had numerous people contact me that they want this chart. And Stitch Niche I know is out. So if any of y'all have this, holler, because a lot of people are looking for this chart. And or if you talk to Gloria on the regular, Gloria Moore, see if she has any or if she knows who has any, or but that chart is so gorgeous. I did the all DMC option. It's on 28 count linen, and I believe it was Legacy, 28 count Legacy. I can't remember what color though, but it is beautiful, and the linen is nice on it. I like a little bit tighter than that, but it's not a problem at all. It feels good. It's not too stiff. It's not too floppy. I'm like the three bears when I'm stitching. I want it, you know, just right. I need to be just right when I'm stitching. I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee, y'all. Since I'm not tickling Aria to get it kicked all over the room, we're gonna go with that. My start this week was, and of course, here's my threads. I try to keep everything straight as I go. These are my threads for May Health and Peace. My start this week was the drawn thread, and I didn't get a whole lot done. We have been in the pool a lot. So this is Welcome Summer. I've got Welcome Spring right there. So I've got to get Welcome Summer done here. And it is done with a mix of silks and different things. And I just did a floss toss on mine, and with some things I had. And if I can find the floss, I'll show it to you. Is this it? Yes, because that blue, I'm just gonna show y'all, that wavy navy, I love that wavy navy. That thing is fabulous. So I've started, I wanted to do the flag first, and then I was liking the blue so much that I decided I'd go in and do all my letters. And I don't know if it's gonna show that it is so nice and variegated or not. It is gorgeous, gorgeous. This is just 28 count tea-dyed Monaco I got from Down Sunshine Lane. She usually keeps it. It's very nice thickness. If you like to stitch in hand, it's fabulous. But this is so, so pretty, and I'm loving it. So like I said, I wanted to start the flag. So I started the middle because I wanted to do the flag. And then I was loving the look of the blue so much, I just got carried away and kept on stitching the blue letters because I loved them so much. I was like, that blue is gorgeous, and it has just enough variegation in it that you see some movement and things. It is pretty. And the red I've got pulled for it is Ribbon Red, Cinnamon, Cinders, what else? Molasses, Wagon Wheel, Wavy Navy, Bullfrog, Bean Sprout, Sunflower, Chalk, and I'm going back and forth between Chalk and Snowflake, which Sweet Smurfette sent me Snowflake a while back. Smurfette Stitches, she stitches the most beautiful projects on Instagram, and she has a YouTube. She doesn't get to post a lot. She has two sweet babies, but her stitching and her projects are just wow, wow. So I may just use the Snowflake just so I can remember that I used that floss she sent me. So I'm going back and forth on it, but I am loving, loving. This is the only project bag I had. I've got it in it. It's the only project bag I had before my birthday. So it's from Dot Dot Goose from Denise. It's beautiful. But it was the only one I had at that point. So then, what's next? Their Song. Their Song by Blackbird. There we go. If I tilt it just right, I can get the glare off of it maybe. This chart is just wow. And y'all know I'm a bird watcher and a bird lover, and I put my food out for my birds and all this. And so I've had this one in my stash for a long time, and I was like, you know, it's time. Because I'm going to, in the office where the James and I share the sewing room office, I'm going to put it and a lot of things with blacks and reds on the wall in there. And so this is going to go, and this are the beautiful threads for it. I think they're mainly called for. I may have switched up one, but not really, but those colors are just so pretty. Y'all know I love me a Blackbird. Blackbird designs, you cannot go wrong with them. And here we go. And I am loving it. So I finished out, I think I just started Cherries, the word, and I finished, got the two birds in, got this little design. And it is just gorgeous. This thing is beautiful. I love stitching on it. This is, let me see. April Brown Bendy, I think. Yes, April Brown Bendy. And I think I've had it for a long time because I've had it in here to stitch with this on. So it's April Brown Bendy. And here are, and I keep it in my Lisa bag. Thank you, Lisa. It is another beautiful bag she had sent for my birthday. And it is so, so nice. It's a Denise Dot Dot Goose bag. It's beautiful. It was one of my birthday presents. And I keep it in there. And, but it is, y'all, this thing's just coming along, and it's so, so pretty. But like I said, I haven't got a lot of stitching done this week. As the summer goes on, my stitching time will be less and less and less, because we'll spend more time in the pool during the day. In the winter, when the girls are crafting, they'll do projects, as they call it. They like to craft, they'll do projects. And so then I'll stitch when they do that. But in the summertime, they want to be outside in the pool. So we've been in the pool every day. We have swim lessons here next week. Their sweet swim teacher has, who's also their dance teacher, is so sweet and has agreed, because, you know, there's not going to be a lot of corporate swimming lessons and things like that. So Aria's only and best little friend, Lily, is going to come over. And so the three of them will take lessons together here. She's agreed to come do them at the house. And so Jen will bring Lily over, and then the girls, the two girls, and so they will at least get some swim lessons. I just feel like that's super important, especially with us having a pool. Jen and them have talked about putting in a pool, but I just think swim lessons are crazy, crazy important. Aria Kyle, I don't know if y'all saw on Instagram yesterday, she can go crosswise across. She can't go lengthwise yet, but she can go crosswise across the pool now. So we're out there all the time. And even outside stitching, when it gets so hot, I'm afraid my hands will be greasy, you know, oily from kind of being hot out there. So I don't stitch so much when I'm outside with them. If it's just me in the morning or whatever, I'll stitch out there. But in the heat of the day, when we're out there, even if they're riding their free readers, as they call them, their little four-wheelers, or their free readers. I don't know why they call them that, but I don't stitch out there too much, because I don't want to get oily, greasy all on my stitching, because that's just nasty. But the last thing, which I did work on a lot this week, because y'all know I have a hard time. If I start on something, I'm not good at putting it down. I just want to keep on sitting there and stitching. This is 'Tis the Season. And here's my beautiful, he's Turkish red. And then I finished the snowflakes across the top. And down the side here, I've got the year. And, I'm putting in the berries now. So once I put in the berries, then really all you have left is just a couple of snowflakes. And then it has, in the picture here, and they have, let me cover it up so you can't see. They have charted for you to put 'Tis the Season in English or in French on there. And I just want to leave mine up all the time. So I didn't want it to look as super, you know, Christmassy and have a Christmassy words. So I was trying to decide what I was going to do to deal with that. And I think what I've come up with is right across here, and I think I'll probably do it in green, and probably the green or this goldish color. It'll have to have two colors because my initials I'll do in the, a little bit different color. But out of this one I have, there is an alphabet on, let me see if I can find the picture here. I thought I had it marked, and of course I guess when I carried it in here I dropped out the, is that one on the front? Not big enough where you can see it. This alphabet here, I think I can take this alphabet, if I counted it, it's fairly close to the same. It's a little bit shorter, like height-wise, but I think I can take these letters and run them here with just the alphabet right there. And like I said, I think I'll do it in green and gold, and then maybe like probably do the letters green and do my initials in the gold or something. And that way it won't be, I don't know, I feel like the less white is on there, the less like snowy Christmassy it looks. So I'm loving it, and I didn't think about it at the time, but if you did not want it to be like super Christmassy at all, these look like quilt motifs, right? So I could have come in and used, I think there's two colors of pink for the berries. You could have done that in this pink for the berries. You could have done it in green. If you wanted it to be a patriotic piece, you could have come in and done this in blue. You could have done these easily in blue, okay? If you'd have done these in a blue, and then you could do your alphabet in like a lighter color blue, or two colors of blue in these or something, and then do your alphabet across the bottom out of Sweet Land of Liberty. This piece isn't even wintry at all then, because I think if you change those to look like quilt motifs, you would never even think about them being snowflakes at all. It's just, y'all know how I feel about Blackbird designs. I love, love, love it. And I think that that would totally change this piece up. So if you're thinking about starting this and you don't want it to be super seasonal, think about that. I didn't think about it till I was stitching these last things over here on the side, and I was like, well, dang it. But you could easily switch that up to be blues, different blues, and then put this, or even more greens if you wanted to bring in more green, and then put this, or an off-white. Sorry, y'all, I am just, boy, I'm all over the place this morning. You could change this any color you want, and then put your letters down here. You could change the wording even, but I'm just going to use that alphabet out of Sweet Land of Liberty and put across the bottom here, and then it'll be just done and loving, loving, loving it. And so I think with that, it won't be, I won't feel quite as Christmassy about it. The cursive letter make it be more Christmassy too for some reason. I guess that's kind of fancy writing like you put on Christmas cards or things like that. And now, Tis the Season lives in my patience bag. And so I don't know if y'all saw them on all of them, but I keep y'all's name in there. So whenever I handle them, I just say a little thank you for y'all y'all are always so sweet to me and send me things and check on me and all. And so I keep y'all's name in those things like that. But then this, of course, here's my nasty rolled up threads, but that's how mine get. Mine don't ever stay pretty. But these are my colors. It is Patricia Geary. I got it from her. And once again, I forgot to check and send her a message and see where it came from, because she said who she got it from. She didn't claim it. She said who she got it from, but I can't find where I wrote down who she got it from. So as far as that's worth. Before I forget, also Mama Bird 4, if you're out there, I thought you sent me your address. We go back and forth all the time, talk back and forth, and I cannot find it, and I messaged you on the one thing I found, but you were the recipient of Evergreen Lane last week. So I'll give it another week or so and see if I hear from you. I'm kind of worried about you now because we usually talk a lot back and forth, and now I haven't heard from you. But then y'all look at this. This was remember my coffee chart. This is my poor Miladys needle chart. it won't be fit to pass on to nobody because it's, Lord have mercy, it's a hot wreck. What else? Oh, my finish this week. Told y'all about my pillow. My little finish this week, and I am in love with him. He is so, so cute. I'm trying to decide if I need to go back and back stitch around his eyebrows or something. And I gotta find a little button. That's why he's not finished off. I'm gonna have to go. My Joann's, y'all gotta tell me, is y'all's Joann's having an issue? I went in my Joann's, put my mask on, went in my Joann's, and y'all know I'm claustrophobic, so I'll get out. So that mask thing is killing me. So I have made my mask, the long kind that like drape all the way down and are kind of heavy and attached to your shirt. So, you know, they're like a bandit, and I put little over the ear things on. But I am so claustrophobic, y'all, that if I put this one on, I just probably can't go. I found another one that I'm gonna try to make that's more like the plague doctor mask. It has more of a little pooch out in the front to give you some air off your face. But I'm struggling in the mask. I put it on and I go, but even with the one like this, like I said, it's just like a bandana, but I have them in different fabrics. And I put the nose piece in it, and I've got little loops that come up, you know, go over the ear to keep it, kind of hold it up. You can just tie it in the back, but I found that, especially if I'm bending over and looking for floss or things like that, it wants to ride up or down. And so if you have the little ear things on, it does stay in place better. But I'm so dang claustrophobic that that thing up on my face, y'all, if we have to do this all next year, I just may have to have everything delivered, because I don't think I can do that. I'm crazy claustrophobic, and I just can't. I don't like being strapped down, tied down. Like I said, when CJ's face got all sewed up, man, he ripped it off in that bike wreck. I think I told y'all that a couple of weeks ago. That poor man's legs probably broke, but he wrecked his bicycle, and he flipped it end over end like this and landed on his face and jumped up, started running to the house, and it was just detached from here. This was no skin, no skin, no skin. And then this, he had just ripped it completely loose, and it was hanging out like this. It was open and full of gravel and everything. And when that man wanted to start stitching on his face at Children's, because of course we had to go to a specialist, and he said he was gonna strap him down, and I said, dude, you're gonna be putting a wildcat in the sack. You do not want to strap him down. You better knock him out if you're gonna strap him down. And he said, well, we don't like to knock people out if we can keep from it, because then when you come to, your hands automatically go to where you're hurt, where they, you know, feels things. So he said, we try not to do that if we can keep from it. And of course, he's a kid. We don't want to do that if we can keep from it. And I said, then you're gonna have to just tell him what not to do. And he said, okay, I'll make one deal with you. If you stand here by him and you hold his hands, but he lets go of your hands, I'm strapping him down. And I told him, I said, baby, he's not kidding with you. You have got to hold my hands and not let go. And he said, I will, Mama. And he was in 4th grade, I think. And I think that guy worked on him for 3 hours, worked on stitching on his face. And it was forever. And I stood there and held his hands down, you know, down like on his belly. And he held my hands. And that man stitched and stitched and stitched. And he made that poor intern get down on his knee and put his hand out for CJ's head to go back on. He made that guy get down on one knee, and he wanted the back of his head resting on that guy's arm, because he said, that's the angle I like to work at. That poor intern had to sit there. He's probably crippled now, had to get a knee replacement from being on that hospital floor all that time. And he told me, he said, you can't move. And he was non-repentant about it either. He was not kidding. Now, he did a beautiful job on CJ's face. Don't get me his face. He did a beautiful job on his face. And I saw him after that in that Diane Zamora. Y'all remember that case? I think that was her name. Diane Zamora, was that it? But he also did hands. He did hands and he did faces. And he testified as an expert witness in that. But he did a beautiful job on CJ's face. You cannot, unless you get right up on him and you're looking, you'd never know that he totally wrecked it. But there's another rabbit hole. But Lord have mercy. James Williams and I like got in a fist fight on the way up there because, of course, I got home. He has him laid out on the porch. He hasn't took the other 2 kids to the neighbors or anything. And my parents weren't home yet. And we're going to the emergency. I went to the doctors I worked for first. I called him and I said, but you're not going to touch this. And he said, well, come by here and let me look at it. And he took one look at it and he said, I'm not going to touch that. You're going to have, so they called the Children's Hospital in Dallas and we started up. And James is driving the speed limit. And I'm wanting to kill him. My child is face ripped off in the back seat. And, you know, that's my first baby. That's my Genesis. Don't mess with my kids. It's, you know, and I'm just like, And so I'm like, could you go faster? Could you please go faster? And he's going, that's why accidents happen, is because people rush through things and don't do things the way they should. And I'm like, dude, then you need to pull over and let me out because I'm finna pick up my baby and run to the hospital faster than you're driving. And so we ended up in a big, before we got there, but that's just us. But I think I need to back stitch around his eyebrows some. And look, he has that fabulous mustache. Y'all see that fabulous mustache? But I think his eyebrows, because we did the mustache and the beard, I feel like his eyebrows need it. And I feel like I need this button here. Oh my gosh, I got completely off topic about Joann's. Holy smoke. I went into Joann's. There ain't no fabric in there. No nothing in there. Everything is empty. And they said, well, we're just waiting on shipments. The fabric shelves, all the cotton fabric shelves against the wall, there is nothing. It's empty. It's completely empty. All these big slots in the supplies of all kinds. Threads, like scissors, I mean, all kinds of weird things that are out. And it hasn't, I've been in once or twice since all this started. I've masked up and gone in because I had to have something in the Joann's. And it hasn't been like that. So it's not just because of everybody making masks. I don't know what the heck's going on in there, but y'all let me know if y'all know, because it's crazy town that my Joann's is empty, like necky empty. There is nothing in the fabric section except fleece, and that ain't gonna help me out none. I don't need no fleece, especially not at this time of year. We're hitting on, I think we're supposed to hit 92, 93 this weekend. So the pool was 88 yesterday afternoon, so that was super nice. But what the heck's going on with the Joann's? I need to know. Where is their fabric? Whoever you are, if you hijack their fabric truck, you need to bring it back because we all need it. And oh, this guy somebody asked about threads. He's on that, he's just a scrap of that blue and camel dyed, Rit dyed even weave. And he is gassed, flax, cherry bark, old red paint, DMC 754, 3371, and 732, Classic Color Works 12 grain, ribbon red, blue corn, and bean sprout. And this is the flax. It's a little bit more tan than I wanted originally, but it didn't show up. Everything that was lighter just blended right into this blue, and you couldn't see it at all. So it was a hot mess. So I had to go back and change it up, but I'm looking for that they had a little star button on here. They had a bird and stuff too, but I think his little hat needs something. So if I don't find the little star button, I guess I'll put a little satin stitch star or something on there to kind of make his hat a little bit lighter and all. But I loved him. Shepherd's Bush makes beautiful patterns, and this one is so fun. It was a little bit more to it than I thought because the back stitching and things. And one of their buttons here, let's see, they have a button here instead of so I just stitched a heart because they have a little stripy. See, they had this little stripy button that's super cute. And they had the bird, and then on one of the flowers over here, they put that instead. And see, then he has a little red button. But the only one I could find at the Joann's was way too big for his hat. So I'm still on search. I'm finding a little button this weekend and hopefully finish him off. Oh, they have little heart buttons on there too. So all these cute little buttons. But he is gonna be our share this week. And so if you are interested in stitching this one, Flag by Shepherd's Bush, I guess say Uncle, since it's got Uncle Sam here, say Uncle. And if you want to get in on the share of this guy, the share, Lord have mercy, my handwriting, y'all, my handwriting, Lordy, I write things in the wrong place. Last week, which I didn't bring in here, go me, the Long May She Wave, last week was our share, and it is Amanda Haney. So Amanda Haney, if you'll contact me and get me an address so I can get it in the mail to you. And here again, I'm still looking at Mama Bird 4. I need your address for Evergreen Lane so I can get that to y'all. And I hope y'all had fun today. I love my project bags from Project Bags by Atlanta Stitcher. It's her Facebook page, Project Bags by, and Atlanta Stitcher's one word. That was super, I loved those last night when I opened them up. And then my beautiful fabric from BeStitchMe that we opened up on here. So those were a haul this week. So we had a little bit of shopping together this morning, I guess, or as close as we're gonna get for a while. So y'all have a great weekend and enjoy your stitches. Bye.